up, guys? Team Stamp West, Discraft Underground team captain. We, of course, got Alex. Alex, how's it going?
Wonderful, man.
Awesome. We're super excited. We got Mr. Best Day Ever himself joining us tonight. We got Dan Hastings.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Dan. We want to kind of kick off with our typical first question. How did you find disc golf, or did disc golf kind of find you?
It was back in, I want to say middle school was my first time on a course. And it was actually, my dad saw the courses when he was driving somewhere for work. And our first round was actually with chewed up ultimate frisbees. We took out the dog discs, and we went to the local park, Basil Morella, which is a tight little wooded course. And we got hooked from there. We got my older brothers out, my sister. Like, it became kind of like a family thing. And now, like, I'm really the only one that continues to play. My brothers and my dad, like, when we go home, like back to New York, they'll come out and play, like, socially and all that, but no one's no longer on the club or tournament scene other than me. So
nice. So did you play pretty much from that point all the way up to now, without like much of a gap in there?
I really didn't play much in, like, after that in, like, middle school, early high school. It was really later in high school when I started beating my brothers and things. Like, I'm 7 years younger than my two older brothers, and when we first started, like, they crushed me in every sport. Like, just the strength and just experience of being older, like, you win everything, So
Yeah.
once I started beating them, that's when I'm like, okay, this is something that I'm going to take off with. So I think it was right around, like, I was 14, 2007-ish is when I started playing, like, tournaments. And I was really fortunate. I was able to go play a few different years playing junior worlds. My dad would take off work and we would travel all those big events. So pretty much just that junior experience and just my dad's willingness to travel and drive me everywhere really got me hooked. And then once I quit playing soccer, which was freshman year in college, that's when disc golf really, really took off for me. So.
Nice. Yeah, I think behind every great junior player is a parent who's doing a lot of supporting, whether it's traveling or financially. We got some great juniors on the underground team as well, and they all have really great supportive parents. So for anybody who's looking to get their kid into disc golf, be supportive, be helpful, get them out to the course. It's a good way to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are one day past the 1 year anniversary of the Best Day Ever, which is a historical day in disc golf where you slayed. So talk us through that day. I mean, when you woke up, were you like, man, I'm gonna do something special, or was breakfast just really good that day? I mean, walk us through it.
Yeah, so on the Disc Golf Pro Tour's putting invitational the other night, on that interview, I mentioned that Thursday I went out to practice, and it was easily the worst practice round I've ever experienced. Like, my game was kind of in a slump. Like, it's mid-May, so as a teacher, like, you're busy looking for EOG, end of grade assessments, like really getting the kids, that's your focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so disgusted with the way I was playing, where I'm like, I can't play a tournament this weekend. Like, I was out there with my wife, I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, no, you're playing, we're coming back tomorrow after work. And UNC Chapel Hill is about an hour and a half from me. So sure enough, we went right back there the night before the Best Day Ever, and I played every single hole until I was in circle one, until I was putting close enough for 3 on the par 4s. And after that, I'm like, I did exactly what you said. Like, I was like, all right, this weekend's gonna be something special, because I didn't just invest this much time, this much driving. Like, I think it ended up being like a 7-hour round trip between an hour and a half drive time and the practice round. Like, I was on that course what felt like forever practicing. And yeah, I went out. I'm like, I felt that more. I'm like, this is gonna be a special day. And it came out way more than special.
Yeah, it came out as a historic day. What were the official round ratings? It was 11. I know the first one was over 11, obviously.
Yeah, it was 11-12, which unofficially that day it was 11-11. So, like, it was where I was like 11-11, make a wish, So it's just that was funny. Then it bumped up one when it went an official. and the other one went from it went from, I think it was 1097 unofficial. Then when it went in, it dropped to 1092. So it averaged out to be 1102.
1102. Most people can only dream of having a round over 1100. There's just a handful of people who have done it. And your average for the day was over 1100. Did you miss any putts? Were there any strokes that you left out there, even with rounds being that high?
I arguably missed the easiest hole on the course for me, which it's funny because I'm real close with Brian Schwebe. Like he's called Dad down here. Like it's Papa Schweb or Dad. Like, and he actually sent me his scorecard when I was on hole 3, and he's like, "What do you think of this?" He sent me his UDIS scorecard, and he shot like, I don't know what it was. I want to say he was like 13 down or something like that.
Oh.
And in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything back. Like, because usually it's me and him just fire at each other, all cylinders, just going back and forth. Um, so I waited till I was done with the round, and that was actually my first UDIS scorecard. Is I created one for that event just so I can type in all my scores and send it back to him. And his response is, that's why I kind of went to that story. His response was, "Wow, you missed hole 8. How?"
You shoot this legendary round, and he's badgering you about the one hole you missed.
Yeah, and it's funny because like it's one where I would expect to get it every single time I play it. It's a little like 220 slight downhill, easy forehand zone.
Yeah.
And I shanked it so hard left, kicked into the stuff that the save was harder than the tee shot.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the one miss, and that was pretty much when I stopped thinking about score. Like obviously through the first 7, you're like, "Oh, I'm still perfect. Oh, I'm perfect. Oh," and then once you miss one, you're just like, "Okay." And then I never really thought about it again until like I hit a huge putt on the 19th hole that my card went nuts for. I was actually playing with one of my good friends down here, Jared Askew, and he was kind of keeping like everyone away from me. Like we had a really young card, um, and he was just kind of like keeping everyone like hush hush, like, all right, don't ask him about it, don't mention it. And it was, I hit like a 40-footer on 19. He went wild, and then I had circle's edge inside circle on 20 for the eagle. It's just a hard par 3. Like it'd be an par 4 just because of the way the bamboo is set up. Like I had to throw a big hyzer over it, so if it hits the bamboo, you can call it a par 4. But if you can clear it, it's just a 3. And then I hit that, and I think he yelled louder than I did all day. Like he was, like everyone else is more pumped. Like I didn't even think about it. And we walk up to the parking lot, and somehow everyone up there already knew. And it was another good friend of mine down here, Mitch Dickens, walks up and he goes, "Welcome to the 1100 Club." And I never once thought like this round is going to be over 1100. And I just looked at him like, "Really? You think?" Like, because I think 1100, like you need tour guys there to boost the ratings.
Yeah, yeah.
I think me and Schweb are the only 1,000 rated players there. So it was just, it's tough to get ratings like that. So I mean, I was pumped when it wasn't just over 1100, like it was 1112, where that's just like, all right, that's a career round right there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that leads to our fan question, which Alex is going to take away.
Yeah, so thanks to Aaron Koslow for the question. Aaron asks, when I have a good start to a round, I tend to ruin it by getting in my head and kind of thinking too much about it. How do you manage to stay cool for 2 entire rounds throughout the day? Like obviously you have the 11-12 for a perfect example is missing 8. How do you stay cool and keep that concentrated throughout the day?
Fortunately for me, that round I was able to I practiced the holes. I knew the holes. I knew the shots. I knew exactly what disc I wanted to throw, where I wanted to throw it, because I put that practice in the day before. And I just, after that practice round, I was super confident on the course. And for me, like when in doubt, I just go to my go-to shots, my go-to disc. For me, it's, if I'm nervous, if I'm feeling off, I'll go to a forehand off the tee, even if it's not a forehand hole, because I know chances are I'm hitting the early gaps and it's going to get me up there for a look. So really, when you have the nerves, you just go to what you're most confident with. And for me, it's that forehand. And I feel like that course was a ton of forehand zone shots. And well, I don't think Did I have the Raptor yet? I don't think I had the Raptor yet, but I throw a big Z4s in zone. I felt like was every shot in that course, which two of my favorite discs. So if I have those in my hand, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's going to do every time. I'm going to make this work.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Sweet. Well, I think we have a giveaway. I think. Do you got giveaway stuff? Dope.
Yeah,
You want
absolutely.
to remind people to give the video a thumbs up. Be sure to share this one with your pals. Share it on your Facebook. So tell us what you got, Dan.
Yeah, right here I got a nice baby blue in honor of the best day ever, going to be at UNC. So got your Tar Heel blue, Carolina blue, ESP Raptor with my stamp on it.
Nice.
And then I actually have another exactly like the shirt I'm wearing right now with my logo on it. It's got the DH on front, and then it's got Discraft on the back.
That's sweet. That's awesome. Well, if you guys want to enter to win those, head over to Dan's Instagram, which is right above me. I think, right? I always forget.
Yeah, right above me. 3504, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Sweet. Head over to Dan's Instagram, and we're going to have Dan post the thumbnail picture for this video, and we want you guys to comment with hashtag best day ever. So drop hashtag best day ever in the comments. We'll let it go for a couple of days, and then Dan will roll through there, or weekend. We'll pick a winner and get that stuff shipped out. If you guys want Dan to sign it, which I mean, I would probably want you to sign it. Then just ask Dan. I'm sure he'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So kind of kicking it back into real time, right? Talking a lot about best day ever and your come up. What have you been doing to stay busy during off season 2.0? What do you like? You mentioned that you taught at one point. So what do the past few months and preparing for the next step look like for you?
The last few months, I feel like I've been busier than before all this went down. This year, I moved into a curriculum specialist role, and the charter company that I work for is actually out of Michigan, so that's why
nice.
I'm kind of able to tie work trips with visits to the factory, which is awesome because a lot of our meetings are in Detroit.
Nice.
So that's always a bonus. But really, right now, we've been digging in a ton with just the learning loss that kids are experiencing right now. It's going to be even more so than your typical summer. So you're talking kids pretty much ended school mid-March. So you're talking that April, May, June that you got to make up. So a lot of what I'm doing is just digging into the power standards for each grade level. Like, what are the essential skills kids need, and how can we fit them in? Like, for example, if they're a fifth grader, they're going to sixth grade. So how can I fit those heavy skills around around fractions and decimals, build that into sixth grade, and then doing the same thing for each grade level, which isn't always fun trying to figure that out because time's tight as it is to get through a curriculum. So just try and find different ways we can fit that in, and just figure out what we can do next year to make it smoother than what it could be,
Yeah.
And that's tough even with the unknown with what the fall is even going to look like.
Yeah, so. Totally. And it's interesting because, like, obviously going from at one point teaching and having that kind of, you have school and then you go into the summer, and then this kind of weird summer started early back in mid-March or so.
Yeah.
It changes everything, right? It throws everything in for a loop. So you're more busy, but the question is, have you been able to get out to some open courses to keep the game sharp?
Yeah, I was talking to Schweb again. I'm pretty sure it was him. I was just saying that I feel like right now my game's at mid-season form.
Nice.
This putting invitational really forced me to practice putt, which, Schweb will be the first one to tell you, neither of us really practice putt a ton because when the stroke's on, like you trust it and you go. But yeah, I've been trying to get out. A lot of our nicer courses down here in my area are kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I've been getting out to those, which is nice because I can go an entire round and not see a single person.
Nice.
So I've been just trying to get out there. I'm doing a little more with trying to get involved more with the YouTube channel. So I got a couple of those. I started like a little series like Know Your Shot, which just talks about like your mindset and decision making going into the holes. So I did a few local holes in a different area that can be a little tricky to play. So I'm just trying to add to that. I know I got a huge order coming from Discraft tomorrow with more DH stamp discs. So I'll probably do an unboxing and throw that on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
I was in the process. I actually switched cameras. So I wanted to step it up from the iPhone game. So I bought a camera started filming. Didn't like that camera, so I just exchanged that and got a little bit nicer one. So hopefully I can finish up the first part of my in the bag and get that posted up. But other than that, just kind of doing what everyone else is doing, just getting the yard together. A couple weeks ago, I re-roofed the house.
Nice.
So just anything to keep busy, just because my wife and I are people like we would travel like crazy when we could. Still trying to get out to different trails and stuff, do some hiking, but it's just tough. It's a really unknown time, so it's just you don't know if what you're doing is right, what you're doing is wrong, if you're overreacting, underreacting. So it's kind of just living in that lingo, or limbo. So
yeah, no, I hear that completely. So kind of as we step out of the limbo, what does it look like for you as some events start to pop up, some things start getting sanctioned? Are you planning on hopping right back into it, or maybe taking a few weeks to finish out some of the work? What's your plans for the rest of the season?
Oh, that is a great question. I want to get playing, but again, like it's just not knowing when the right time to start is. Like I really, 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 really want to get back to Idlewild this year. Just the last 2 years, I've had a ton of success in that course. I think I took 8th 2 years ago, and I took 6th last year. So it's just a course that compared to the tour, I play really well, which I think having an accurate sidearm, I think favors that course. Just managing all those trees. So I know that'll probably be my first big one that I travel out for. Again, depending on what the state of Michigan is and everything in between, I'm really, really going to try and avoid getting on any planes anytime soon. But I'd love to get up to Deglow. I don't know what the state of that is right now. I think that's late July, right?
Yeah, that's it. At the end of July, we just had to unfortunately cancel CCR Open, which is a week before. Just a lot of unknowns, and we're kind of running out of time for fundraising, and we lost all of our other events this year. So, I think I haven't heard anything from Deglow. It sounds like it is probably still on. So, I mean, something the pros can look forward to.
Yeah. So I'm thinking once North Carolina opens and starts playing those events, I won't have a problem playing just the local regional events. But it's one of those things. Just when you add in the different travel, like where you're going to stay, who you're going to stay with, like that just adds a lot more unknowns. But I think Deglow and Idlewild are for sure on my radar. But it may be something where I shift taking my time off and possibly doing that northeast swing again. When I was in Rochester, New York, and Buffalo, New York, it was really easy to get out to Maple Hill. And that place that's probably still one of my favorite tournaments to play. So I think it may be a little later to get to some of the tour events, but I definitely want to get out some of those pro tour events and try and make a couple lead cards here and there and see what I can do once this season kicks off again.
Again. Awesome. Nice. Well, that's exciting. Be on the lookout for Dan getting back on the tour when you do. That's all for our questions, but we do have some rapid fires. So these are quick answer. I got 10 questions. I got some fun ones, some goofy ones. I got a good mix. Are you ready, Dan?
I think so. All right, let's go.
All right, stretch it out a little bit. Your dream doubles partner?
Chris Dickerson.
Oh, interesting one. One disc in your bag that you would just absolutely cry if you lost?
My putters, the CT Challengers.
CT Challengers, nice. State that you haven't visited that you really want to?
Utah, for the Utah Open.
Nice. Utah.
Maybe Worlds. Maybe Worlds.
Worlds is still supposed to happen. We got Ryan Sperry, who's on the underground. He's out in Utah. Every time he posts pictures, it's like blue skies, mountains, and I'm just like, So it's just it looks so pretty all the time. Team Discraft has some incredible lefties. We got the Bearheart, we got Reed Frescura, we got Max Nichols, Austin Turner, Zach Arlinghouse. We got some lefty ballers. Alex is a lefty, so I threw this one in there for him. Who wins a one-round battle at your home course?
Austin Turner. He's played it before.
It's cheating. Dang it. Discraft has the Tour Series discs coming out. Which one are you most excited for? Any of them that might make the bag?
I'd absolutely love the Raptor and love Yuli even more, so I'd probably bag one of those.
Nice. If you had to give up disc golf right now, which sport would you pick up to pursue being a professional in?
Lifting, if
Ooh.
powerlifting counts, maybe that.
Yeah, sure. Lifting. I mean, that's like pretty athletic.
Yeah.
You just won the lottery, $10 million. What's your first big purchase going to be?
Probably a house out on the coast.
House on the East Coast, West Coast?
East Coast. I was out coast of Colorado. What am I talking about? North Carolina.
North Carolina. Nice. Is a death putt really a death putt if you know you're going to make it?
No.
Fair.
Nope.
I think you kind of already answered this one, but one Disc Golf Pro Tour or NT tournament that you believe you can win this year or next year?
I would have to put that out a while. I think that course, compared to the tour, I think that one's that gives me the best chance.
Nice. I like it. North Carolina has some ballers, as we all know. It's probably, I mean, if you looked at like all the disc golfers, I bet there's like the most rating points in North Carolina of anywhere. So we're going to give you your choice of a doubles partner. Has to be from North Carolina. It's probably going to be Schwebby because everybody loves Schwebby. And we're going to take me and Alex, and I'm going to take my two best underground players, and we're going to play 4 versus 2 at the toboggan. Who do you think's going to win?
Actually, at the toboggan, I think I might take Austin for the distance.
Ooh, okay.
Because I could use an extra 100 feet on my drive, or maybe not quite that much, but I don't know. I think if I have Austin's distance on my team, I think we would take you guys.
Gotcha.
It would be epic. We got some good distance throwers on the underground. My buddy Alex Tooze throws like a mile. He's probably throwing way past Austin Turner. So I'm pretty sure we could take you if we make some putts.
If there's 4 of us, we might be able to put something together.
We might.
Hey, if everyone's there for Deaglo, maybe we can make it happen.
That'd be sweet. I'd love to get some film out there, even if it's just 9 holes. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. But, if you would have said any other course, I absolutely would have taken Schweb.
Shout out to AT. We just had him on. If you guys want to hear what he's got going on, check out our interview with him. That's all of our questions for you, Dan. We want to give you a minute or two to thank anybody that you want to thank. Let people know how they can support you. And floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. First, obviously, I got to thank Discraft. It's been an amazing time with them. Making the shift about 1.5 years ago has been one of my better decisions. Also, thank you to Ridge Roller. Amazing bags, amazing carts. Like I said, I got a brand new shipment of DH discs coming in tomorrow that I'll probably do an unboxing and post it up. You'll probably see those on Discraft all day or over on my Facebook page in general. I'm going to try and add a little more content to the YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out. Give me a like and subscribe that everyone always asks for at the end of the videos. And just thanks to everyone who's supported me this far. I feel like I've had like a mentor every step of the way for my entire career. So just shout out Bobby Jones, Sam Castiglione. My dad's been huge, my older brothers, and then most recently down in North Carolina, Schwebby. And obviously my wife for just tolerating the plastic habits, you know?
Yeah.
It's an addiction that not everyone can live with. So
yeah, it's better than most others, right? So
yeah, well, be sure, remember guys, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, just like Dan said. Check out his YouTube. Look for Dan when he gets back on tour. We got that giveaway. Be sure to check that out on Dan's Instagram and comment #bestdayever. And at the end of the day, Alex, one thing left to do.
Make that putt.